Okay, here is a story of between 25,000 and 30,000 characters, based on your prompt. Waitress fired for helping Lee Min-ho. 1 week later, she got a call that changed her life. The clatter of silverware against porcelain was a chaotic symphony in the Golden Spoon, a Korean barbecue restaurant buzzing with the Friday night crowd. Anya Petrova, a young waitress with perpetually tired eyes and a smile that could melt glaciers, navigated the crowded aisles with practiced ease. She balanced a tray laden with sizzling bulgogi and an assortment of bankin, her mind racing through her mental checklist. Table 7 needed more water, Table 4 was waiting on their kimchi jjigae, and Table 12. Well, Table 12 was causing a stir. Table 12 was occupied by Lee Min-ho, the global superstar. Anya, like practically every other woman in the greater Los Angeles area, knew exactly who he was. His dramas were a staple in her household, thanks to her Korean-American grandmother, who practically worshipped him. Seeing him in person, however, was a different experience altogether. He was even more impossibly handsome, radiating an aura of effortless charm that seemed to captivate everyone within a 10-foot radius. The problem wasn't Lee Min-ho himself. He was polite, unassuming, and even left a generous tip, a rarity for celebrities, Anya had learned. The problem was the swarm of paparazzi and overzealous fans that had descended upon the restaurant the moment he walked in. They were relentless, flashing cameras, shoving each other, and generally creating a scene that was quickly spiraling out of control. Mr. Kim, the restaurant owner, a man whose face usually resembled a perpetually worried dumpling, was beside himself. He loved the attention, of course. A celebrity sighting was great for business, but the chaos was threatening to drive away his other customers. Anya. Do something, he hissed, grabbing her arm. Get them under control. Tell them to leave him alone. Anya knew that telling a pack of hungry wolves to back off wasn't exactly a recipe for success, but she had to try. She approached Table 12, her heart hammering against her ribs. Lee Min-ho looked up, his eyes meeting hers with a surprising degree of empathy. He seemed genuinely apologetic for the commotion. "Excuse me, everyone," Anya said, her voice trembling slightly. "Could you please give Mr. Lee some space? He's trying to enjoy his dinner, and you're disturbing the other customers." Her plea was met with a chorus of groans and protests. One particularly aggressive photographer, a woman with a camera the size of a small cannon, shoved Anya aside. "Get out of the way, honey. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity." That's when Anya saw it. A small, seemingly insignificant detail. A woman, clearly a fan, had managed to slip past the makeshift barricade of bodies. She was clutching a pen and a crumpled piece of paper, her eyes fixed on Lee Min-ho with an almost manic intensity. Anya recognized the look. It was the same look she saw in the mirror sometimes when she was overwhelmed by stress and exhaustion. But there was something else there, something unstable. Without thinking, Anya acted. She stepped in front of Lee Min-ho, blocking the woman's path. "I'm sorry, but you can't approach him like that. Please step back." The woman's face contorted in anger. "Get out of my way, you stupid waitress. He's mine." She lunged forward, attempting to push past Anya. Anya stood her ground, adrenaline coursing through her veins. She didn't know where the strength came from, but she managed to hold the woman back until security, alerted by the commotion, arrived to escort her out. Lee Min-ho looked at Anya, his expression a mixture of gratitude and concern. "Thank you," he said softly, his voice barely audible above the din. "You didn't have to do that." "It was nothing," Anya replied, trying to downplay the incident. "Just doing my job." But it wasn't nothing. Mr. Kim, who had witnessed the entire scene, was furious. He pulled Anya aside, his face red with anger. "Are you crazy?" he shouted, his voice cracking. "Do you know who that was? You just assaulted a customer. You're fired." Anya stared at him in disbelief. Fired? For protecting Lee Min-ho? For preventing a potentially dangerous situation? It didn't seem fair. But Mr. Kim. She started to protest, But he cut her off. "I don't want to hear it. Get out. And don't come back." Anya, humiliated and jobless, gathered her belongings and left the Golden Spoon. As she walked out the door, she glanced back to see Lee Minho staring at her with a look of profound regret. She quickly averted her gaze, feeling a wave of shame wash over her. The next week was a blur of job applications, rejections, and mounting anxiety. Anya lived paycheck to paycheck, and losing her job at the Golden Spoon was a major blow. She spent her days scouring online job boards, filling out endless applications, and attending fruitless interviews. Her savings dwindled, and the fear of being unable to pay her rent loomed over her like a dark cloud. She told her grandmother what happened, omitting the part where she was fired. She simply said the restaurant was cutting back hours. Her grandmother, though, saw through her immediately. "Anya, you are a good person. You always help others. Don't let this discourage you," she said, patting Anya's hand. One evening, as Anya was despairingly eating a bowl of instant ramen, her phone rang. She glanced at the caller ID. It was an unfamiliar number. Hesitantly, she answered. "Hello? Hello, is this Anya Petrova?" A crisp, professional voice asked. "Yes, this is she. Ms. Petrova, my name is David Chen. I'm the head of security for Lee Minho." Anya's heart skipped a beat. Lee Minho? Why would his head of security be calling her? "Mr. Lee was very impressed by your actions at the Golden Spoon last week," David Chen continued. "He was concerned to hear that you were terminated as a result of the incident. He asked me to reach out to you." Anya was speechless. "Mr. Lee would like to offer you a position on his personal security team," David Chen said. "He believes you have excellent instincts and a strong sense of responsibility. The position would involve accompanying him on public appearances, ensuring his safety and well-being. The salary is substantial." Anya nearly choked on her ramen. A job on Lee Minho's security team? It was unbelievable. It was life-changing. "Are you serious?" she managed to stammer. "Absolutely," David Chen replied. "Mr. Lee is very serious. He believes you would be a valuable asset to his team. Would you be interested in discussing the position further?" Anya didn't hesitate. Yes. Yes, I would be very interested." The next few days were a whirlwind. Anya met with David Chen and other members of Lee Minho's team. She underwent a thorough background check and a series of interviews. She learned about security protocols, crowd control techniques, and basic self-defense. She discovered that Lee Minho was not only a talented actor but also a genuinely kind and compassionate person. He was deeply grateful for her intervention at the Golden Spoon and was determined to help her in any way he could. A week later, Anya Petrova officially joined Lee Minho's security team. Her first assignment was accompanying him to a charity gala. Anya, dressed in a sleek black suit, stood discreetly by his side as he mingled with guests, signed autographs, and posed for photos. She was nervous at first, but she quickly found her footing. She was good at her job. She was observant, quick-thinking, and unafraid to take charge. Lee Minho, noticing her apprehension, smiled reassuringly at her. "You're doing great, Anya," he said softly. "Just be yourself." As the evening progressed, Anya realized that this wasn't just a job, it was an opportunity. An opportunity to learn, to grow, and to make a difference. She was no longer just a waitress struggling to make ends meet. She was a valued member of a team, trusted and respected by one of the most famous people in the world. The work was demanding, the hours were long, and the pressure was intense. But Anya thrived in the environment. She loved the challenge, the camaraderie, and the sense of purpose. She traveled the world, met fascinating people, and experienced things she never thought possible. One day, while traveling with Lee Minho in Seoul, Anya had a moment to reflect on her journey. She was standing on a rooftop overlooking the city, the glittering skyline stretching out before her. She thought about the Golden Spoon, about Mr. Kim, about the day she was fired. She realized that being fired was the best thing that had ever happened to her. It had forced her to take a chance, to step outside of her comfort zone, and to pursue a path she never would have imagined. She thought about Lee Minho, about his kindness, his generosity, and his unwavering belief in her. He had given her a second chance, a chance to prove herself, and a chance to live a life she had only dreamed of. Anya knew that she owed him a debt of gratitude that she could never repay. But she also knew that she had earned her place on his team. She had proven herself to be a capable, reliable, and trustworthy protector. She was more than just a waitress who had been fired for helping Lee Minho. She was Anya Petrova, a woman who had overcome adversity, seized opportunity, and found her true calling. Years later, Anya was still working for Lee Minho. She had become his confidant, his friend, and his most trusted advisor. She had helped him navigate countless challenges, both personal and professional. She had witnessed his triumphs and his setbacks. She had seen him grow from a young actor into a global icon. And through it all, she had remained grounded, humble, and grateful for the opportunity he had given her. One evening, as they were preparing for another red carpet event, Lee Minho turned to Anya, a warm smile on his face. "You know, Anya," he said, "I'll never forget what you did for me at the Golden Spoon. You changed my life, but more importantly, you changed your own." Anya smiled back, her eyes filled with emotion. "Thank you, Mr. Lee," she said. "You changed my life too." The story of Anya Petrova, the waitress who was fired for helping Lee Minho, became a legend in Hollywood. It was a story of courage, kindness, and the power of second chances. It was a reminder that even the most unexpected events can lead to extraordinary outcomes. And it was a testament to the fact that sometimes, the greatest blessings come disguised as the greatest misfortunes. But the true message of Anya's story wasn't just about luck or circumstance. It was about character. It was about having the courage to stand up for what's right, even when it's difficult. It was about having the compassion to help others, even when it's inconvenient. And it was about having the resilience to overcome adversity and never give up on your dreams. Anya's story resonated with people from all walks of life. It inspired them to be kinder, more courageous, and more resilient. It reminded them that even the smallest act of kindness can have a profound impact on the world. And so, the waitress who was fired for helping Lee Minho became a symbol of hope, a beacon of inspiration, and a living testament to the power of the human spirit. Her life was a testament to the fact that even when you're down on your luck, even when you feel like you have nothing to offer, you still have the power to change the world, one act of kindness at a time. And sometimes, that act of kindness can change your life forever. Anya often thought back to that chaotic night at the Golden Spoon. She realized that she hadn't just protected Lee Minho, she had protected herself. She had protected her values, her integrity, and her sense of right and wrong. And in doing so, she had opened the door to a future she never could have imagined. The call that changed her life wasn't just about a job offer, it was about recognition. It was about being seen, being valued, and being appreciated for who she was as a person. And that, she realized, was the greatest gift of all. And as she stood on the red carpet, next to Lee Minho, bathed in the flashing lights and the adoring gaze of the crowd, Anya knew that she was exactly where she was meant to be. She was a protector, a friend, and an inspiration. And she was grateful for every moment of her extraordinary life. The years continued to unfold, each one adding another layer to Anya's already remarkable story. She wasn't just Lee Minho's head of security, she became a vital part of his inner circle, a trusted confidant, and a friend he deeply valued. Their professional relationship blossomed into a genuine bond, built on mutual respect, trust, and a shared understanding of the pressures and privileges that came with fame. Anya's role evolved beyond just physical protection. She became adept at navigating the complex world of celebrity, offering Lee Minho counsel on everything from public relations to philanthropic endeavors. Her innate understanding of people, honed from years of observing human behavior as a waitress, proved invaluable in assessing situations and anticipating potential threats. She was a master strategist, a skilled negotiator, and a fiercely loyal protector. Lee Minho, in turn, continued to support Anya's personal growth. He encouraged her to pursue her interests, providing her with opportunities to learn new skills and expand her horizons. He sponsored her enrollment in self-defense courses, empowering her to become even more capable in her role. He even helped her establish a foundation to support aspiring young women from underprivileged backgrounds, inspired by her own journey from humble beginnings. One day, Lee Minho approached Anya with a proposition that took her completely by surprise. He was planning to produce a documentary about his life and career, and he wanted Anya to be a central figure in it. "Anya, your story is an inspiration," he said, his eyes filled with sincerity. "People need to hear about your courage, your resilience, and your unwavering commitment to doing what's right. I want you to share your story with the world." Anya was hesitant at first. She had always preferred to stay behind the scenes, out of the spotlight. The thought of exposing her personal life to millions of viewers filled her with anxiety. "Mr. Lee, I don't know," she said, her voice trembling slightly. "I'm not sure I'm comfortable with that kind of attention." Lee Minho smiled gently. "Anya, you don't have to do anything you don't want to do. But I truly believe that your story can make a difference. It can inspire others to overcome their challenges and pursue their dreams. And it can show the world that even the most ordinary person can achieve extraordinary things." After much deliberation, Anya agreed to participate in the documentary. It was a daunting experience, but also incredibly rewarding. She sat down for hours of interviews, recounting her life story, from her childhood in a small town to her fateful encounter with Lee Minho at the Golden Spoon. She spoke candidly about her struggles, her triumphs, and the lessons she had learned along the way. The documentary, titled Anya's Choice, became an instant sensation. Critics praised its honesty, its authenticity, and its uplifting message. Viewers were captivated by Anya's story, moved by her resilience, and inspired by her unwavering spirit. Anya became an overnight celebrity. She was invited to speak at conferences, universities, and charity events. She received countless awards and accolades. She was even approached by publishers to write her autobiography. But despite all the attention, Anya remained grounded and humble. She never forgot where she came from, and she never lost sight of her values. She used her platform to advocate for causes she believed in, to empower young women, and to inspire others to make a positive impact on the world. One of the most significant outcomes of the documentary was its impact on the Golden Spoon. The restaurant, which had initially fired Anya for protecting Lee Minho, experienced a dramatic reversal of fortune. Customers flocked to the restaurant, eager to dine at the place where the legendary story had begun. Mr. Kim, the former owner, reached out to Anya to apologize for his actions. He admitted that he had made a mistake and expressed his deep regret for treating her unfairly. Anya, ever forgiving, accepted his apology and even agreed to make a guest appearance at the restaurant. The event was a huge success, drawing crowds of fans and media from all over the world. Anya used the opportunity to promote her foundation and to raise awareness for the importance of second chances. As the years passed, Anya continued to work alongside Lee Minho, their bond growing stronger with each passing day. They were more than just colleagues, they were family. They shared laughter, tears, and countless unforgettable experiences. One evening, as they were sitting together on the terrace of Lee Minho's home in Seoul, Anya looked out at the glittering cityscape and reflected on her extraordinary journey. "Mr. Lee," she said, her voice filled with gratitude, "I don't know how to thank you for everything you've done for me. You changed my life in ways I never thought possible." Lee Minho smiled warmly. "Anya, you don't need to thank me. You earned everything you have. You are a remarkable woman, and I am honored to have you in my life." He paused for a moment, then added, "You know, Anya, sometimes I think that you saved me that night at the Golden Spoon. Not just from physical harm, but from something else. You reminded me of the importance of kindness, compassion, and doing what's right, even when it's difficult." You helped me stay grounded in a world that can often be overwhelming and superficial." Anya's eyes filled with tears. She knew that Lee Minho was being sincere. He had always been a good person, but her presence in his life had helped him to become even better. "We saved each other, Mr. Lee," she said softly. "We saved each other." And as they sat there, side by side, under the starlit sky, Anya knew that their story was far from over. They had many more adventures to come, many more challenges to overcome, and many more lives to touch. The waitress who was fired for helping Lee Minho had not only changed her own life but had also changed the lives of countless others. She had become a symbol of hope, a beacon of inspiration, and a living testament to the power of the human spirit. And her story would continue to be told for generations to come, reminding everyone that even the smallest act of kindness can have a ripple effect that can change the world. Years later, long after Lee Minho retired from acting to focus on philanthropic endeavors, and Anya had transitioned into managing her foundation full-time, they still kept in close contact. They would often reminisce about their shared experiences, laughing about the chaotic night at the Golden Spoon and marveling at how far they had both come. One afternoon, Anya received a call from Lee Minho. His voice sounded unusually excited. "Anya, you won't believe this," he said. "They're making a movie about our story." Anya was stunned. "A movie? About us?" "Yes," Lee Minho replied. "A major studio has optioned the rights to your autobiography, and they want to turn it into a film. They've already cast the actors, and they're planning to start filming next year." Anya was overwhelmed with emotion. To think that their story, which had begun with such humble beginnings, would now be immortalized on the big screen was almost too much to comprehend. The movie, titled The Protector, became a box office smash. It was a heartwarming and inspiring tale of friendship, courage, and the power of second chances. It introduced Anya's story to a whole new generation of viewers, further solidifying her legacy as a symbol of hope and inspiration. At the premiere of the movie, Anya and Lee Minho walked the red carpet together, their arms linked in a gesture of unwavering friendship. They posed for photos, signed autographs, and greeted fans with warm smiles. As they stood on the stage, addressing the crowd, Anya couldn't help but reflect on the incredible journey that had brought her to this moment. She had gone from being a struggling waitress to a world-renowned philanthropist, a best-selling author, and now, the subject of a major motion picture. "I never could have imagined that my life would turn out this way," she said, her voice filled with emotion. "But I am so grateful for every opportunity I have been given, and I am so thankful for the people who have supported me along the way." She turned to Lee Minho, her eyes filled with love and gratitude. "Thank you, Mr. Lee," she said, "for believing in me, for giving me a chance, and for being my friend." Lee Minho smiled back, his eyes twinkling with affection. "The pleasure was all mine, Anya," he said. "You have made my life richer and more meaningful than I ever thought possible." And as the applause thundered around them, Anya knew that their story would continue to inspire and uplift people for many years to come. The waitress who was fired for helping Lee Minho had become a legend, a testament to the power of kindness, courage, and the enduring strength of the human spirit. Her legacy would live on, reminding everyone that even the most ordinary person can achieve extraordinary things, and that even the smallest act of kindness can change the world. And sometimes, that act of kindness can change your life forever. The end. The success of The Protector didn't just elevate Anya's personal profile, it amplified the reach and impact of her foundation. Donations poured in from around the globe, allowing her to expand her programs and help even more young women achieve their dreams. She established scholarship funds, mentorship programs, and vocational training centers, providing opportunities for disadvantaged youth to break the cycle of poverty and build brighter futures. Anya traveled extensively, visiting her foundation's projects in remote villages and bustling cities. She met with the young women she was supporting, listened to their stories, and offered them encouragement and guidance. She became a role model for countless individuals, demonstrating that anything is possible with hard work, determination, and a little bit of help along the way. One of Anya's most ambitious projects was the establishment of a leadership academy for young women in South Korea. The academy provided intensive training in leadership skills, entrepreneurship, and social activism. It aimed to empower the next generation of female leaders to take on challenges and create positive change in their communities. Lee Min-ho, now fully dedicated to his own philanthropic endeavors, became a strong supporter of the Leadership Academy. He often visited the academy, giving speeches and mentoring the students. He shared his own experiences with leadership and social responsibility, inspiring the young women to embrace their potential and make a difference in the world. Years passed, and Anya's foundation continued to thrive. She received numerous awards and accolades for her philanthropic work, including the Nobel Peace Prize. She became a global icon, a symbol of hope and inspiration for millions of people around the world. Despite her success and recognition, Anya remained grounded and humble. She never forgot her roots, and she always remembered the struggles she had faced on her journey. She made it a point to stay connected to the people she was helping, to listen to their stories, and to understand their needs. One day, while visiting one of her foundation's projects in a remote village in Nepal, Anya met a young girl named Lakshmi. Lakshmi was bright, intelligent, and determined, but she faced immense challenges. She lived in poverty, she had limited access to education, and she was expected to marry young and spend her life in servitude. Anya was deeply moved by Lakshmi's story. She saw a reflection of herself in the young girl, a spark of potential waiting to be ignited. She made a promise to Lakshmi that she would do everything in her power to help her achieve her dreams. Anya brought Lakshmi back to South Korea with her and enrolled her in the Leadership Academy. Lakshmi thrived in the academy, excelling in her studies and demonstrating exceptional leadership skills. She became a role model for her peers, inspiring them to overcome their own challenges and pursue their passions. After graduating from the academy, Lakshmi went on to attend university, where she studied international relations. She became a passionate advocate for human rights and social justice. She traveled the world, working with various organizations to promote education, empower women, and combat poverty. Lakshmi eventually became the director of Anya's foundation, leading the organization with vision, compassion, and unwavering commitment. She continued to expand the foundation's reach and impact, helping countless individuals achieve their dreams. Anya often reflected on her journey with Lakshmi, marveling at the incredible transformation she had witnessed. She realized that her act of kindness at the Golden Spoon had not only changed her own life but had also set in motion a chain of events that had touched the lives of millions of people around the world. One evening, as Anya and Lee Min-ho were sitting together on the terrace of his home in Seoul, watching the sunset, Anya turned to him and said, "Mr. Lee, I never could have imagined that my life would turn out this way. It all started with a simple act of kindness, and it has led to so much good in the world." Lee Min-ho smiled warmly. "Anya, you are an inspiration to us all. You have shown us that even the smallest act of kindness can have a profound impact, and that even the most ordinary person can achieve extraordinary things." He paused for a moment, then added, "Our story is a reminder that we are all connected, and that we all have the power to make a difference in the world. We just need to have the courage to act, the compassion to care, and the determination to never give up." Anya smiled back, her eyes filled with tears of joy. She knew that their story would continue to inspire and uplift people for generations to come. The waitress who was fired for helping Lee Min-ho had become a legend, a testament to the power of the human spirit. And her legacy would live on, reminding everyone that even the smallest act of kindness can change the world, one person at a time. And as the sun dipped below the horizon, casting a golden glow over the city of Seoul, Anya and Lee Min-ho sat in comfortable silence, their hearts filled with gratitude, hope, and the unwavering belief in the power of human connection. They knew that their journey was far from over, and that they would continue to work together to make the world a better place, one act of kindness at a time. The end. The weight of their shared history settled comfortably between them, a silent understanding that transcended words. Anya knew, with a certainty that resonated deep within her soul, that their story wasn't just about individual success or philanthropic achievements. It was about the ripple effect of kindness, the enduring power of human connection, and the transformative potential that resided within each and every person. Years later, well into their golden years, both Anya and Lee Minho found themselves reflecting on their lives, their accomplishments, and the legacy they would leave behind. Lee Minho, while no longer in the public eye, continued to quietly support Anya's foundation and other charitable causes. He had found contentment in a life of purpose, far removed from the clamor of fame. Anya, though still actively involved in her foundation, had begun to delegate more responsibilities to Lakshmi and her team. She wanted to ensure that the organization would continue to thrive long after she was gone. She also wanted to spend more time with her family, enjoying the simple pleasures of life. One crisp autumn evening, as they sat by a crackling fire in Lee Minho's secluded mountain retreat, Anya turned to him with a thoughtful expression. "Mr. Lee," she said, her voice soft and reflective, "do you ever think about what our story really means? Beyond the success, the awards, the movie. What's the core message?" Lee Minho gazed into the flames, his brow furrowed in contemplation. "I think it's about hope, Anya. It's about showing people that even in the darkest of times, there is always hope for a better future. It's about demonstrating that kindness, courage, and perseverance can overcome any obstacle." Anya nodded slowly. "I agree. But I also think it's about the importance of seeing the potential in others. You saw something in me that I didn't see in myself. You gave me a chance when no one else would. And that changed everything." Lee Minho reached out and gently took Anya's hand. "And you, Anya, reminded me of the importance of staying true to my values, of using my platform to make a positive impact on the world. You helped me become a better person." They sat in silence for a few moments, each lost in their own thoughts. The only sound was the crackling of the fire and the gentle rustling of the wind through the trees. Suddenly, Anya's eyes lit up with an idea. "Mr. Lee," she said, her voice